Ah, boy. So Mr. Shak is in the building with us this morning. Good morning, Shak.
Greetings, my brother. What's up?
Hi, cool. How you doing?
Well, at day, I mean, us artists, pull some kind of interesting late hours. So
Still?
right now, yeah, some late hours now.
Yeah.
So I was up until wee hours of this morning, and just get a little shut eye, but it's cool. It's all good.
All right. You working on your music?
Well, yeah, a few things actually, but yeah, new music is part of it.
All right. So, Shak, I want you to talk to us about, well, the Calypso industry would have been hit, of course, one of the industries hit hard by the COVID-19, right? And this month we're
Yeah,
celebrating Calypso History Month. And I can't help but wonder if, looking to the past, we can find a way forward to the future. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going on with this pandemic. I know that you have been one of the artists that pivoted and went online, doing stuff online, still releasing music. But a lot of artists are still
yeah.
feeling a bit unsure about what's going to happen. How do you see the Calypso industry like navigating the next few months or possibly year?
Yeah. Well, for one, from a perspective of Calypso itself, I think it has already started to in little pockets started to try to do so. Because up to last night I saw Calypso Showcase in South. They had an online show, Humor and Vintage Kaiso. And I've been seeing a lot of that popping up. So, I mean, you're seeing people, even if by force, making use of the technology and trying to find ways, as you say, to pivot and, and kind of orient themselves in the whole thing. So, from an individual perspective, and I think that more of that is going to be called for because, it has gone from totally decimating avenues for the thing to express itself to now shrinking basically and popping up in pockets.
Right.
So I think individually people have to also look for ways to pivot even outside of the Calypso and connect. I mean, even if it's connected to Kaiso, because for example, myself, I recently started a brand called Brand Kaiso Rebel, which is really kind of off of one of my personas and songs, which is Rebellion. So I've started this brand and we've started with apparel, right? So I'm doing clothes and hats, t-shirts, hoodies and things right now. And we intend to expand not just the clothes, but beyond to other things.
Yeah.
So, it's about being innovative and really finding ways either connected to or maybe even separate and apart from,
Makes sense.
to supplement. Yeah,
It makes sense. All right, Chuck. So we're celebrating Calypso History Month. I want you to tell me, why is it important for us to know the history of the music that is Calypso music?
I mean, from a general perspective, it's important to know the history of anything.
Right.
Right? From where music is concerned and Calypso, it is important on a number of levels, mainly because, I think it's important to maintain that connectivity and, that old adage that if you don't know where you're rooted, you can't really know where you're developing and where you're going to. Beyond that, Calypso, for me, I've always said it is beyond just a genre of music. For me, this is my perception of it. Yes, it's music, but to me, Calypso more represents our life force and energy as Trinbagonians. Everything we do, the way we walk, talk, the way we see the world and perceive things, our ability to find humor and the laugh in very serious situations, all of it is Kaiso to me. And it is really our calling card to the world. I have always said that I think that there is a Calypsonian within every Trinbagonian. Some of us just find ways to bring it out and to perfect it as a craft. But I think that is how important Calypso is to us. And of course, all of its derivatives, while some of them have seemed to become more popular and more in demand, a lot of it still draws on the root of Kaiso.
Right.
So it's in fact, I would venture to say there are a lot of quote unquote soca artists doing songs that they class as soca. That is really Kaiso. So for me, is about understanding and maintaining that connectivity. It is important moving forward for young people who coming into the culture, especially when they're bombarded by so many other things.
Right, because of course, with social media and with the internet being what it is, we have access to everything, including
everything.
our own history.
Yeah, and we have always had an issue in Trinidad with access to things of ourselves.
Right.
So I mean, what TTT has been doing for quite a while now, I would say 2-3 years now, is very important. Other entities that try to maintain that focus on local stations, like radio stations like WAC and Gael, and all these institutions that try to focus on that on local and local substance is important.
I find you didn't call Talk City, but I go allow it because I know you just forget for the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have up early and have synapses firing faster than earlier than is normally function. So
I hear you. Shak, before we part ways, I want you to tell me who's your favorite Calypsonian of all time.
Winston Bailey, the mighty Shadow, without question. He's actually not just my favorite Calypsonian. He's my favorite artist, bar none.
Really?
Any genre. Winston Bailey is my favorite artist of all time. And then when you get down to the others, there are people who share spots from 2 to 5.
But I ain't going on there. I stay with the one. I stay with the one. You have a story that you tell about when you went to see Shadow, and he came and you started playing the guitar. You remember that one?
Yeah, this was one of his first. He had just come out of the hospital, and his son Shalon, who is a friend and a colleague of mine, so I decided to go to check him. But he was in his room. Shalon was explaining to me that since he came out of the hospital, he really wasn't coming out much and thing. But when we got there, we in the living room, and his guitar was somewhere close by. I think it was on one of the couches or something. So I sat down and started playing the guitar. And while I played the guitar, I see the shadow start coming down. Well, pun intended. See the shadow start coming down the corridor. And see Mr. Bailey appear, and he come out and standing there looking like he trying to figure out who playing the guitar out there. You know what I mean? And he reach out and, come and join the line and, get involved in the whole thing. And he was, getting to a lot of conversation with us. And I remember when I was leaving, Shalon was telling me that, that's the first time that he actually come out for some time.
Right.
And
is the music
like that. So that was, is the music draw him out? Is the music draw him out? I think that was
for sure
testimony to me immediately how much that man was drawn to that.
All right, Shak. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing that with us this morning, and of course for sharing Calypso History Month with us, and congratulations on all the new music you've been releasing. Please continue, and the Soca Parang, real best. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Good thanks. Yes, my brother.
All right, take care. That's it.